guys, it's MadameWario, and welcome to yet another episode of Pokémon Talks. Today's question is a little bit more generalized, but it's something that I think is kind of fun to think about and talk about just because it's something we're all thinking, and I don't know, it's just kind of an opinionized question. I just made that word up. Is opinionized a word? I have no idea. Anyway, that's what happens when I say things really slowly. It's because I have no idea if I'm really saying something that's not just 100% made up. So anyway, the question of the day is, what are my thoughts on the Pokemon console games versus the handheld games? Because we all know the handheld games are awesome. They've always been, let's face it, the best. I mean, the most work goes into those. They're the most alluring. They have fantastic storylines most of the time, music, everything. It's all there, it's all good to go. It's wonderful, we love it. But there are a lot of console Pokemon games as well that get overlooked, and some of them are actually really good. Others, they're hit or miss, but you could say that about the handheld games as well. It's not like, hey, all the handheld games are the best and they're phenomenal. I mean, I personally was not a huge fan of the Pokemon Rangers series. That was something I got like as soon as it came out, and I didn't like it. And some people love it. It just didn't have that relationship. I didn't have that relationship with it that I do for the regular RPGs. So it's kind of the same way for the console games. I will say that I have not really seasoned myself to any of the newer console games, mostly because I don't find them as interesting, generally, as just the regular old RPGs. But I will say that from back in the day, like N64 back in the day, there were some fantastic console games. And not to say that there aren't some fantastic ones that are newer, but just the ones I'm familiar with are from back in the day. And I would say, Pokemon Snap is probably my favorite. I would honestly say that out of all the spin-off games that have been on consoles, the Pokemon Stadium series, which is now kind of developed into the Pokemon Coliseum series, that's all fantastic as well. I think it's a little bit, it has a few more flaws to it of things that were like, oh, that's an easy way to win, or one wrong move and I'm gone. It was kind of like, after you played it enough, you could really predict what was going to happen. It wasn't so much like this game could be different every time. So that's why I would put Pokemon Snap over Pokemon Stadium games. One thing I will say that I absolutely loved with Pokemon Stadium, specifically 1 and 2 for N64, are the mini-games. Those mini-games are phenomenal. I wish that there would have been something kind of like Mario Party, like Pokemon Party or whatever. I mean, that would have been a complete rip-off, so maybe not that, but something of that nature that encompassed the mini-games for more than just like a generalized outside of the regular gameplay activity. I think that would have been really, really cool. And I loved that part of it. I probably played the minigame part of it more than the actual battle part of it. It was just kind of funny. But it did put you into that story and into the anime with, oh my god, I'm going to the gym, and look, like the view and everything. It was really cool how that was done. But I would say that Pokemon Snap is my favorite because it's just a game that I don't think anyone else has done. It hasn't been done in any other form. It's not done as well. The secrets were well hidden. They were good. They made you think. Going back through, I can't even remember all the secrets that well. I mean, it's kind of like, wow, this is something that you did have to be invested in. It wasn't like, hey, I went through the game, I played it each level one time, and I got everything. It was great. They really did a great job of adding those layers to the game, which is why I wish they would come out with a sequel, because there's really no reason not to have a sequel. It's just, I think they haven't focused on it. They've been focusing on other Pokemon games and other Pokemon generations. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's my favorite. I know there's like the Pokemon Park games, and which I'm honestly not that familiar with. I don't really know much about those. But, to tell you the truth, if I don't know much about the game, it's because it hasn't really sparked my interest in a way that I'm like, wow, I gotta go play that. So that's just kind of something that's a personal thing for me. If a game sparks my interest right away, I'll get it. If it doesn't, I either have to be recommended it like a bazillion times by somebody, or just randomly get bored one day and say, hey, this game's on sale, I'll try it. That's generally how I work. So all my favorites, like I said, are older. But I do honestly think that just based on what I've seen, based on the trailers and information that's been shared, Pokemon Snap is it's one of a kind. It's, a standalone version of a game that has not been done again. And I say that because there are other camera games out there now that involve like photography, but it's more like realistic photography, I guess. That's like, I know they just had the Chibi Robo Photo Finder on 3DS. Again, that goes back to handheld console, though. That's not even home console. So just for that game to be done, and to be done so well, I think is, that's a winner right there. So that's why I decided to play this game too. I wanted to do a Pokemon console game, and not something that just encompasses Pokemon, like, wow, Pokemon are in it. I mean, you could say, like, oh my god, Smash Bros. Is the best, that series. But that's not just a Pokemon game, so you can't really say that. You have to just say that's a great game on its own. So yeah, I'm going to go with Pokemon Snap on that, but I would love to know your thoughts on this same thing. Because it is an interesting topic, and I think, yes, the console games are definitely overlooked a lot of the time, and there's work that goes into them. It's just they're not as popular. So let me know your thoughts on that. I would love to know. Also, let me know any other questions you'd like me to address in future Pokemon Talk videos. And please keep those pictures, photographs, artwork, whatever you want Pokemon themed coming to my Twitter at MadameWario, hashtag Team Kyogre. The details are in the video description if you need a refresher. And thank you guys so much for listening and for watching, and I will see you for more Pokemon Snap and more Pokemon Talks. This has been MadameWario. Peace out, pimps.
Got to be the one, the only one who can withstand the test and be the best. Got to strive, keep up the drive, be a master.